Hello everyone, welcome back to Weekly China Recap. I'm your host, Xing Zheming. This week, we take a look at two headlines that might seem unrelated at first glance, but together they reveal China's strategic direction for its next phase of growth. First, let's head to the rooftop of the world, Tibet. China just broke ground on what could become the most ambitious hydropower project in human history. With a price tag of 1.2 trillion RMB, the Yarlung-Zangbo River downstream project isn't just big, it's massive. Once completed, it will generate 300 billion kilowatt-hours of clean electricity annually, enough to power 300 million people. This is a continuation of China's legacy of building mega infrastructure projects like the Three Gorges Dam and the Qinghai-Tibet Railway. But this time, it's not just about energy, it's about ecology, employment, equality, and security. The new state-owned enterprise behind this project, China Yajiang Group, reflects Beijing's intent to uplift Tibet's economy, a region long seen as underdeveloped. Beyond job creation, the project is expected to become a new anchor for national green energy strategy and an engine for regional economic revitalization. It is also a powerful signal that, despite a sluggish macroeconomic backdrop, China is still investing big, really big, when it comes to a long-term transformation. Now, let's travel far south to the island of Hainan. This week, China announced that on December 18, 2025, the entire Hainan Free Trade Port will undergo Fengguan or customs closure. That might sound like lockdown, but in reality, it's quite the opposite. It's a bold move to liberalize trade, investment, and market access. Think of Hainan as China's experimental hub for economic openness. Zero tariff policies will expand from 21% to 74% of all goods. Enterprises operating on the island will enjoy preferential tax schemes. And if they process goods with 30% value added, they can ship them into mainland China with zero tariffs. This means that Hainan is poised to become more than just a vacation hotspot. It's evolving into a platform for international trade, talent, and investment, with a kind of institutional flexibility that might shape the next generation of Chinese reform. So what's the bigger picture here? Unlike many major economies where climate ambitions are backsliding and ESG commitments are becoming political liabilities, China is taking a different route. Still investing heavily in green infrastructure, still pushing development in its most remote regions. Projects like the Tibet hydropower megaproject aren't just about clean energy. They're about national resilience, about lifting lagging regions into relevance, and about proving that transformation can be engineered, even under extreme conditions. Yes, there are strategic calculations, but the result is clear: energy security, regional development, and environmental transformation, all in one. At the same time, China is not waging trade wars, it's building trade platforms. In a world where tariffs and economic coercion have become the new weapons of geopolitical competition, China is rolling out open zones like Hainan, expanding zero-tariff regimes, and quietly becoming a friendlier marketplace for the global south and beyond. Of course, skepticism and criticism will persist. That's the cost of scale and ambition. But the more important question is, can China deliver? The country's track record on big bets, from infrastructure to poverty alleviation, suggests it might. China is making a dual move. On one hand, building large-scale, resource-intensive infrastructure in challenging terrains. On the other, easing institutional frictions to attract global capital and talent. From the snowy mountains of Tibet to the tropical beaches of Hainan, this power and ports strategy shows how China is doubling down on both physical capacity and regulatory innovation. So while others build walls, China is digging channels for power, for commerce, and for a future it believes it can still shape on its own terms. Mega construction meets mega opening up. Two sides of the same growth coin. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Xing Zheming. Stay informed, and I'll see you next week on Weekly China Recap. Goodbye.